And welcome to this edition of the Native News Update on this Monday, January 14th. I am the host for today's program, Paul Demain, and many of the stories we read here can also be found at our website at IndianCountryNews.com, and here are some of the news stories for the day. The chairman of the Turtle Mountain Band of Chippewa asked lawmakers from oil-rich North Dakota on January 10th to support job training to help lower the high rate of unemployment on the state's reservations. I don't have to stand here and read the statistics. We all know where Indian country stands in the area of economic development, Richard McLeod told a joint session of the North Dakota House and Senate. By tradition, North Dakota lawmakers hear speeches during the first week of each legislative session by a North Dakota American Indian leader. The address is shared among the leaders of the Standing Rock Sioux, Spirit Lake Sioux, three affiliated tribes in the Turtle Mountain Band of Chippewa. Tribal leaders want a partnership with a state, not charity, said McLeod, a retired postal worker who was elected chairman of the Turtle Mountain Band of Chippewa in December. North Dakota has the lowest unemployment rate in the nation at less than 3%. McLeod said an investment in job programs on reservations would reduce the rate further. President Barack Obama has signed a bill designating Central California's Pinnacles National Monument as a national park. The bill signed last week makes Pinnacles National Monument the country's 59th national park. Established by President Theodore Roosevelt in 1908, the 26,000-acre site southeast of Salinas includes towering volcanic rock formations popular with climbers and caves. The park is home to the endangered California condor. The area also holds culturally significance for several of California's American Indian tribes. Officials say they're relieved no artifacts were damaged after a fire broke out last week at the Osage County Historical Society Museum in Powhuska. Authorities said the fire was reported during the early hours of January 9th. Firefighters were able to extinguish the flames, though the blaze caused extensive smoke damage throughout the building. Jack Shoemate, the chairman of the museum's board of directors, says he's relieved the building didn't sustain major damage and that the contents of the museum were safe. The museum was located in a converted railroad depot built in 1922. The Examiner Enterprise reports that the museum will remain closed to the public while repairs are made to the building and to its collections, which include priceless Native American collections and items from pioneer days. The cause of the fire is still yet unknown. Ottawa Piscot Chief Teresa Spence vowed to remain on a hunger strike shortly after she and about 100 other chiefs attended a ceremony with the Governor General David Johnston at Rideau Hall in Ottawa, despite a promise by Prime Minister Stephen Harper to engage in high-level dialogue on treaty relationships and comprehensive land claims earlier in the day on January 11th. Although a number of First Nations chiefs put pressure on her to end her crusade, Spence so far is continuing on with her month-long hunger strike. Spence, who is an inspirational figure for the grassroots Idle No More movement, had refused to attend the earlier working meeting between First Nation chiefs and Harper unless the Governor General, David Johnston, was present as well. Spence, who has been living on a diet of fish broth, vitamins, and tea since December 11th, has insisted she will continue the protest until she gets a meeting with Prime Minister Stephen Harper and Governor General David Johnston to discuss treaty issues. But now that Harper has met with some First Nations leaders, some First Nation chiefs boycotted the meeting, and Spence herself has joined other chiefs at the ceremonial event with the Governor General, questions are arising as to what effectiveness her hunger strike will continue to have. Aboriginal Affairs Minister John Duncan, addressing reporters on Parliament Hill, said the Prime Minister had agreed to high-level dialogue on treaty relationships and comprehensive land claims, enhanced oversight from the PMO and Privy Council holding further meetings with the head of the Assembly of First Nations. However, on the environmental changes in the bills that so concern the Idle No More movement, Duncan insisted that constitutional obligations to Aboriginal peoples in Canada were in fact respected by the government when it drew up the bills. A former Crow Creek Sioux tribal chairman convicted in a bribery and kickback scheme has lost an appeal Dwayne Big Eagle is serving 3 years in federal prison for the August 2011 conviction on bribery-related charges. He was convicted in a scheme in which tribal officials were rewarded for giving contracts to construction companies for work at the tribe's school. Big Eagle appealed his conviction to the 8th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals, saying some evidence should not have been allowed at the trial. The Daily Republic newspaper reports that the 8th Circuit judges rejected that argument, saying Big Eagle and his attorney did not object when the evidence was first presented during the trial. A Lakota language immersion child care program on the Pine Ridge Reservation has received a $4,000 grant. The Lakota Immersion Child Care is a full immersion language initiative for infants and toddlers. It started last November with a small cohort of children under the age of 2. The Rapid City Journal reports that the Minnesota-based Honor the Earth Foundation awarded the $4,000 grant to the organization. Peter Hill is the daycare's director. He says exposing infants to the language is a critical step in building a successful K-12 school-based curriculum. There are fewer than 6,000 Lakota speakers, less than 14% of the Lakota population in North and South Dakota, and the average age of a Lakota speaker is now 60. Illinois State Police are still trying to identify the remains of a man found in southeastern Illinois, and authorities hope an FBI approximation of what the man's face looked like will help generate some leads. Investigators believe the remains discovered by a pedestrian in March of 2012 near Newton in Jasper County were those of a white, Asian American, American Indian or Hispanic man about 35 to 50 years old. Authorities believe he was about 5'3" to 5'8". State police have released pictures of what the FBI approximates he may have looked like at the time of his death. Investigators ask that anyone with information about the man call state police in Evington, Illinois at 217-342-2292. And that's going to be another roundup of news from Indian Country. On this edition of the Native News Update, we say miigwech for joining with us and come back again soon.